Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. I can't complain.
We're looking for one more host, of course, and
yes,
she'll be coming in a minute.
we are. Shall we just get a little started?
We could do that. If you want to introduce us, go ahead.
Sounds good. Okay, so good morning again. Welcome to Jigsaw Parenting. My name is Sumitra Singal, and I also have.
My name is Stephen Bax.
And just to kind of tell you guys, Jigsaw Parenting, what is that about? Where did that come from? Jigsaw Parenting is an idea that came out of a friend of ours, and she thought that it was quite interesting looking at the different parenting styles that people have and realizing that a lot of it comes from different cultural backgrounds, different upbringings, cultural as well as ethnic backgrounds, and as well as the experiences you've gone through. I believe it's also tied into, your partner, your spouse, or the parent of the children that help you kind of gather your ideas about how you're raising your kids. Granted, some of this just kind of comes along as we go. I think most parents can say they may have ideas about what they want to do or plan to do, but a lot of it just kind of comes about organically as time goes on, because there's really no book 101 on parenting. So that's where our idea, the idea for this show came from. And so it's a total of three of us. We come from various backgrounds and upbringings, and we're going to bring our ideas and our experiences to you all. So again, my name is Sumitra Singal, and I live in South Florida. I have three children, two in high school and one in middle school. My background is kind of interesting because my father is from India. My mother is from the Caribbean, specifically Belize. And I grew up predominantly with my mom. So I get a lot of ideas and thoughts about parenting from her. My husband is American, and I was born and raised in the US. So I have lots of American ideas, if you would say. And I say that because of what are really American ideas, right? But I have a lot of American ideas intertwined in my raising as well. So that's just a little bit about me, Stephen.
Okay. I grew up here in South Florida myself. Originally came from Dayton, Ohio, Midwestern German descent, mostly little Scots Irish in there as well, and Austrian, but mainly Western European descent. Back in 2001, I was married to a beautiful Peruvian woman who had a mixture of Incan, Native American, of course, Japanese, Hispanic, Peruvian. And we were married for 18 years until, unfortunately, I lost her to cancer after a difficult 2.5-year battle. And that was 2 years ago. And we have two sons, Ethan and Brian. Ethan is a senior in high school now, and Brian is in 6th grade. And so we faced challenges a little differently. We didn't always see eye to eye, but we were able to discuss things. And that's some of the things that we're going to approach in this program, I think.
Okay. Ironically, Stephen and I work at the same place. We are both high school teachers, and that's how we met. So it's kind of cool because two of my kids are in the same grade with two of his kids. In fact, our little ones have been in the same grade with each other for the past, actually the same class with each other for the past 3 years. So they got to know each other, maybe not as well as Stephen and I have gotten to know each other, but they've gotten to know each other. So today, what we're thinking, our thought was for all of those parents that are in the South Florida area, or if you live in Florida, or maybe you live in another state, regardless, you're either coming up on spring break or maybe you just had spring break. And we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on with you all, what's going on with us, what's happening this spring break. So I can tell you guys, normally spring break, I probably go someplace. I don't spend the entire spring break away, but I may go away for a little bit. Last spring break, I actually was supposed to travel to Belize for my cousin's wedding. Had my ticket all set. I was excited. I was like, yes. And then the pandemic happened. I still was gonna go, but then things got really dicey, so it couldn't happen. I was about to actually cancel my trip, and part of the trip got canceled for me because Belize was no longer allowing flights to come in. So I couldn't go to that wedding. Instead, I was home like all of you all, locked up. So this year, I actually have absolutely no plans for spring break. I am just going to relax. It has been, wow, just a crazy year, I'm sure, for everyone. And at the very least, if it hasn't been a crazy year, it has certainly been a different year. So I am going to chill. I'm going to enjoy the fact that I don't have to do anything. And I think I'm just going to veg out and be a bum. What about you, Stephen?
Well, when this all started, we had plans with students to go to Paris and the south of France.
Nice.
Yeah, well, those tickets are still pending.
Oh,
Several dropped off of the trip because the kids are graduating and such.
yeah.
But I'm still going to take my boys tentatively in July. We'll see how that works out. This spring break, though, I'm going to stay mostly home. I got my vaccine, my Johnson & Johnson vaccine in my arm yesterday. Arm's a little sore, but I'll survive. I do have cousins coming down from Ohio, and every time they come down, they bring somebody that's hardly ever seen the ocean. And we can't imagine that down here.
I think that's something we take for granted here.
Absolutely.
You know, we live by the water. We can go to the beach at any time, and then people come from other places, and then they're like, "Oh, I want to go to the beach," and we're like, "What?"
Oh yeah, we're going to take them out kayaking, and that's always one of the favorite things to do out of Alita State Park. And there's a probably not the safest thing to do right now, I suppose. There's a sandbar in the middle of Biscayne Bay.
Okay.
And in much of the country, we have the big trend was food trucks. Well, here we have food boats. So you pull your kayak or your yacht or whatever. There's usually a couple hundred boats there. They pull it up onto the sandbar and just hang around. Sometimes there's a volleyball net set up out there. There's always loud Latin music. And then you walk up and you get something to eat, and it could be anything from arepas to Jamaican patties to hamburgers and hot dogs to rice and beans, vacas fritas, all types of local specialties.
Wait. But Stephen, I've got to ask you, how do you eat rice and beans in the water?
No, you're sitting on a sandbar. It's like being on a beach in the middle of the bay. It's literally like being on a beach in the middle of the bay. And some people bring their boats. You can rent boats and take them out there as well. I have seen out there, they have pontoon boats with slides that come from the top deck and they slide right into the water. I've seen speedboats out there, jet skis, kayaks, boats of all sizes. They just pull right up and they drop anchor, or they just pull it up onto the sand, and just everybody hangs around. Some people have their dogs out there.
So it's just a big family vacation out in the water, like a
absolutely.
Wow.
So I'll probably do that for a day or two.
Okay.
And
I was going to say, Stephen, you mentioned the what is it, the pontoon boat?
Yes.
I saw that. And I was amazed that they have now taken those military style boats and kind of made them into luxury boats. I think that's pretty cool.
Well, the one that I'm looking at is like it has two pontoons, kind of like a catamaran,
okay,
platform, and a roof that you can go up to on a ladder, and then they have a slide that comes down from the top of that. It's a lot of fun, and maybe we are going to focus, of course, on the family over the break.
Of course.
I've been teaching 25 years. I've
taught longer than me.
I'm closer to retirement than I am to the beginning of it all. But this has been one of the most challenging years, and I've had some challenging years. I've been jumped, I've been shot at. I've had some pretty challenging years, but those are individual incidents. This year, literally, and I was teaching night school for a while, where you're sitting at a desk, you've got 40 kids online, you got 3 kids in the class, or you might have 10 kids in class. You got to sit at that desk, and you can't move around. And when I was doing night school, that was from 6:30 in the morning when you get there and you're setting up till 6:30 at night when night school ends.
That's a long day.
It's a long day. It's giving me an extra 20 pounds. Yeah.
Wait, listen. Has the pandemic really, if you think about it, it's given everybody extra pounds because we're sitting around, we're shoving food in our face, or we're watching TV to stay up on the latest news or whatever the news might be talking about, or we're just watching a bunch of shows. So I think we've all packed on a few extras. So you're not out on an island by yourself, okay?
But then we got to look at our kids and where they're at right now. My son's an athlete. He's a senior. All the senior events have been canceled.
Yeah,
that's got to be just devastating. He's held up pretty well. He's on the swim team and the water polo team. Swim team, they allowed him to compete. They said no more than 9 people in the pool. We were able to do that. Water polo, they said no way, too many people in the pool.
Okay.
And in Miami-Dade County, you have to use county pools. In Broward County, most of the high schools have their own swimming pools.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we couldn't compete in water polo at all. He says, that's okay, I'll just play tennis and badminton. So he joined those teams. So, he's been very adaptable to it. He's had a very good attitude about it. It's been a rough several years for him as it is, and he's learned. I think that's made him a lot stronger. Sometimes I worry a little bit more about my little one. He's struggling.
He's a little bit more quieter, right?
What's that?
Would you say your little one's a little bit more quieter?
He is, and trying to motivate him to get his work done, not always easy. I mean, he can't hang out with his friends. At least Ethan, now he has a car, so he can go hang out with his friends to do projects and such.
Right.
We're not really doing play dates right now. The only place he can go is to hang out with cousins or grandparents. And
just the family, yeah.
Yeah, and it's rather limiting, and that's got to have an effect on the psyche.
Yes.
There's no way around that.
I was going to say, you're actually really right about that because, my oldest, the same age as Ethan is, she's a senior, also an athlete, and she plays flag football. Luckily, they are able to play flag football. They're in season right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you, if she wasn't going to be able to play, if they were to have shut that down, I think she would have really kind of gotten depressed because she was looking forward to it. She even, just in general with school, she's just kind of gotten to a level of acceptance that, okay, this is how everything is. I'm going to expect nothing because clearly it seems like nothing is happening. Just like you mentioned, right. All the events have been canceled. And so she's had to personally put herself in a completely different mindset to be able to deal with it all. I know for me, I originally thought, okay, yes, it stinks that all this got canceled, but you'll be fine. But I started to realize that it has been affecting them, especially our seniors. And with you and I being teachers, our senior students, this has definitely been a larger effect on them compared to that class that just graduated, because at least that class that just graduated in 2020 had 3/4 of their year normal. Right. Yep. This particular class has had their entire year as, that it's going to be, I guess, go down in the history books as that year.
Right.
Things were kind of odd. So luckily she has found a coping mechanism, which is just expect nothing. So when something good happens, it's like, oh, that's a nice surprise.
Right. Well, I've watched my son grow up a lot and dealing with this pandemic. And of course, dealing with losing my wife 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't just those 2 years. It was a 2.5 years prior. This was a very unexpected thing. We had gone on vacation. She came back, wasn't feeling well. We went to the doctor, and they said you have 4 to 6 months. Totally unexpected. She didn't have any bad habits. It just happened. Traditionally, as a family, we like to travel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, just jumping in the car on the weekend and going somewhere, or going, we went to the summer before my wife got sick. We jumped on a plane and went to Canada because that was cheap plane tickets.
Right.
Then we toured Canada for a few weeks. When my wife was sick, we went to New York and we lived up.
Right. Where is the outlet?
Yeah,
right. Because that traveling, that vacationing, just the spur of the moment. Hey, why don't we just go? Let's go down to the Keys for the weekend.
Right.
All of that traveling, all of our mindsets have had to change because of our new world that we're living in. So it's
I worry about my youngest. He's I almost want to say he's become more introverted. He's on the video games. He does converse with his friends on the video games, so I allow that probably a little more than I'd like to, but I can't take him to his friends' houses. We've done some drive-by birthdays, and that's about it.
And those have even kind of dwindled down, the drive-bys. I've noticed. I know initially last year that was a big thing, whether it be a baby shower, a birthday, but the drive-bys have dwindled down. I'm hoping, with the shot having been out for a while and now open to a lot more people, things are going to get better. We're going to be able to get out there and start to do some of the things we used to do, which would be great. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hopeful. I've signed up for my shot, so I'm here when I can go in and get it. So.
Well, after this, I'll tell you a way that I was able to get in and out yesterday as a teacher. They sent something, an email at 2:00 on Friday, and I was in and out real quick.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so look at your email with the calendar.
I'm going to definitely check it out.
Now, one thing that we have done to cope with the fact that we can't go anywhere exotic or, just out of town, we do go to restaurants that are spaced out enough. Sometimes fancy restaurants, because we're not spending the money on travel. Might as well eat well, right?
Right. Hey,
that's not helping the waistline, right?
That's where all the extra pounds have been coming on at.
Yes, absolutely. Ethan has discovered a Taiwanese restaurant with his friends, and they go there sometimes. The kids seem to be a little less careful than we are sometimes, I think.
Of course.
But what am I going to do? I can't cut them off.
That's what they do. They're kids.
Yeah, exactly. So, Fridays are always pizza night. That's just a given. So I bring that home. But, we go to our favorite Italian restaurant, or we'll try some Thai food. My kids eat anything. The rule is you have to try it 20 times before you say you don't like it. And so they've eaten everything. I don't want to get anyone upset, any animal rights activists, about some of the things we've eaten. But so I won't go there right now. I might one day.
Wait, this is a question. Have they all been legal things you've eaten?
Yeah, they've been legal. They've been legal. Not necessarily in this country, but we didn't always eat them in this country.
Then you're okay. As long as you ate it in the country that it was legal, you're good, okay?
Okay.
Those are the rules that we play by. When in Rome,
Yeah, right. Yep. So when in okay, I'll go ahead and say when in Peru, we ate guinea pig.
Oh, okay.
Especially, we found a place here in South Florida that actually sells it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So when my wife was sick, she's Peruvian, so that's a delicacy down there. So we go there and we get some, and she'd cook it up, and of course I'd freak out my friends with it because it's fun to do.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. We go someplace, you better tell me what it is, because I don't necessarily want everything. Okay.
What if you like it, and then
don't dare do that to me.
Well, they always know what it is before they eat it.
Okay, well that's good. That's fair.
But they've got that adventurous spirit. I mean, one of the things they like to do is compete with the hottest hot sauce.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I can't do it. I just can't.
That's
one of the things that we do to occupy our time. Is restaurants. It's replaced travel for now. It pales in comparison. We still have a good time doing it. I probably should have spent more time cleaning house. I did put air in the bicycle tires, so maybe I'll actually ride it again.
Listen, you'll be fine. And let me tell you, on that note, we're gonna wrap up today's segment about our spring break plans, and I hope you guys are gonna do something interesting for spring break. And if interesting just means relaxing,
Yeah,
hey, whatever works for you works for us. Everybody's had their own ideas about what they're gonna do this spring break.
and we should mention this is our first broadcast, and
Yes,
you know, we'll probably laugh at this in a year or two when we
I
look.
know, right?
You know, we are missing our third host. She's
Sissy.
in
Sissy
the
wasn't
Netherlands,
able to make it in today. Some
right? She's in
technical
the Netherlands.
difficulties.
So she was having some issues, and she's going to bring another aspect to this as well.
Definitely.
Um, uh, right now, we're keeping it rather organic. Again, to wrap up, what are we doing to pass the time when we can't go anywhere? It's restaurants for us. That's our big thing.
Okay.
For the little one, probably a little more video games than he needs. With my older one, sports is keeping him active.
Hmm.
And I think we've all just recognized, you know what, things are different. Things are
Yeah,
different, and they'll get back to normal. And as soon as they do, hopefully in July, we'll be in Paris,
exactly.
and
Yeah. And
maybe New
hopefully I
York.
can use that ticket that I had to cancel. I can go back and get my points
Yeah.
and get back to Belize so
Oh
I
yeah.
can see the family again. I would love that.
Absolutely. And there will be three of us next week,
Yes.
and I think that wraps up everything.
Listen, we're going to be excited to share more stories with you guys, let you know what's going on with us. Who knows? Maybe you may even recognize some of these things we're talking about. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining us today. This has been Stephen, and I'm Sumitra, and we'll be back next time, the two of us along with Sissy. You guys have a great day.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.